Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. So, the car today is a 2010 Vauxhall Astra or Opel Astra, depends where you are. The engine on this is the 1.6, not really sure what the engine code is, but it's the 1.6. And the complaint is that the radiator fans or cooling fans, whatever you want to call them, they are not working. But was not specified if they are not working because they haven't been tested, or if they are not being controlled properly. All I was told was that the cooling fans are not working. How they got to that conclusion, by the way, this came from another garage, just to make you aware of that. So which tests they did, I don't know. The car was dropped here this morning. I was not at home. I knew about it, but yeah, I didn't have a chance to speak with a guy. But not really. I don't think that's crucial. All I'm going to do is start from scratch and just go through, try to figure out what's wrong. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm not going to be here having the engine running, try to wait to see if the coolant fans are going to kick in or not. But there is two things I can do. One is start the engine. It is a little bit cold, the weather is raining, I don't know if it's going to be enough, but it should be. And I'm going to try to turn the aircon on. That could be one test, see if they kick in, the fans. But bear in mind that some cars, they have a separate fan for the air conditioning. So I'm not sure about this one. I should have done some research first, I guess. But I think the first thing I'm going to do, even before that, to be honest with you, is plug in the Maxi-Sys, which is already plugged in. I haven't scanned the car yet, but we're going to scan the car and through actuator tests, see if we can get the fans to run. So let's go to do that. Okay, and this is my first screen. It's going to go to diagnosis. Let's go straight to control unit, engine control module. Okay, just curiosity. I don't know if it shows me that, but just curiosity. No. It doesn't tells me, it doesn't show me the engine code by the looks of it. No, it doesn't really show me the engine code, but not really matter. It doesn't really matter. So let's go to active tests, and that's the heater. Okay, so what test controls? Engine controls ignition. Cooling fan. What I was looking at. Okay, so two fans. We don't know if it's two speeds or not, but let's try speed 1, which is always the first one you should try, because if it's only one speed, it's going to be under control and the cooling fan relay 1. So it's always the best way to do it. So let's click it. You might not going to hear on camera, but I'm going to see if I can hear anything. Okay, I can hear the fan turning. 100%. 100%. So, let me show you this under the bonnet. Okay, so I'm going to activate the fan again, and I want you to look at it. There's only one fan, so there's no two fans. So let's activate that. Okay, let's try speed 2. If there's anything wrong with speed 2. In case if there is two speeds. here. So that's speed 2. Okay, so this is basically a fan with 2 speeds, and on the actuator they both work absolutely fine. Therefore, I don't have a clue what the guy is talking about. Not a clue. Everything is okay. Okay, so we have here some malfunctions for, okay, something here for the, okay, shall we say that the problem is my aircon? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to ring the guy, because I don't think there's nothing wrong for the fans to kick in when the engine coolant reaches whatever temperature triggers the fan. I think it's going to be here. I think when they say they don't work, what he's going to tell me is, I'm going to ring the guy, but I bet he's going to tell me that when he turns the aircon on, the fans, they don't work, and therefore there's no air conditioning. But we have these here, which we'll have a look at these later, but for now, all I want to see, or the thing I've seen here, is that one in there. Okay, so I think that's what is causing my issue. Okay, so just before we ring him, let's start the engine. So, oh, come on, I need to press the clutch. Okay, engine running. Let's put this onto cold. Let's put this on speed 3. And let's turn my air conditioning on. And see what happens. Let's put this to up here. Okay, so right now, okay, so right now I should have, okay, there we go. So this is cold here. It's not, well, it's not really cold, but so let's gonna go back here. Okay, so AC disabled. No. Malfunction, that's off. AC request is off. Not to run. Not to run, okay. See what else we have. So on, and obviously the fans are not running. That's 100% sure. Although he says they're okay and to run. Let's quick look at it. And as we can see, it's not running. So let's gonna ring the owner and see what's going on with this. Okay guys, and that is not even the problem. Alright, so he never mentioned the aircon, but the guy that brought me the car said, gave me a number to ring someone else. So basically this car had a new engine put in. Well, when I say new, I believe a second-hand engine, because the original engine, apparently the head gasket was gone and something else was gone. They replaced the engine, and apparently, according to this guy, the coolant fans, the radiator fans, they still not kick in when the car gets hot. So he told me to ring the guy that actually changed the engine to get a little bit more info, but guess what? The guy is not answering. So what I'm doing right now, engine is running, and I'm going to monitor the engine temperatures and all that stuff. And so engine coolant temperature sensor, so 58 degrees in there. The desired engine coolant temperature is 105 degrees. So that's what the car is asking for, because he said to me, oh, the guy that changed the engine said that the cooling fan is not coming in at 90 degrees. Of course not. Will never come on at 90 degrees because the car is actually asking for 105. So temperature on the radiator is 56. Intake air temperature is 23 degrees. Blah blah. Engine generator. Engine coolant is a code circuit, code control circuit. Forget about all this. Okay, so let's kind of wait for the car to warm up a little bit and see what happens. Really, with the car here stationary, I should get to the right temperatures, I guess. I don't know why he asks for so much temperature, but it might be just the way it is. So yeah, let's gonna wait and see. Okay guys, and while I've changed the screen, I went onto live data and I got this screen up. So desired engine coolant temperature, the reading at the moment, the radiator coolant temperature, the cooling fans on or off, the startup. These two temperatures, it is basically the temperature of these two sensors when I've started the engine 7 minutes ago. But while that warms up, let me show you what you should not do. So I just went at the front of the engine, did a more thorough inspection, and I want to show you what you should not do. Right, to start with, this ECU has been opened already, but that doesn't really matter. It could have been a fault ECU. Look at that. Pierced wires here at the top. So the insulation has been scratched up. That as well. I don't smoke, so for me it doesn't really, but I think this is now very professional to leave this on a car after you're working on it. This, I'm sure this should run through there, somewhere there behind the ECU maybe. This is not very good. Brackets are in place for a reason, so things don't start to wear and touch stuff that they shouldn't touch. But yeah. And I think I could carry on, but it was just me being petty. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, in the meantime, I've touched, I think it was a camshaft sensor, and I've knocked the engine off because the plug was not clipped in place, and I was just touching it, and it just came out, and I turned the engine off. So obviously, just restart it again. But yeah, we're gonna wait. It's at 84 degrees now. I want to see what happens. Guys, I need to show you this because, oh, it's unbelievable. So right now I'm at 99 degrees, so my fans, they should kick in very shortly. But let me show you what someone did. What the heck? So while I was checking for the cooling system to see if it was pressurized, I've seen this. And you know why? Because some idiot is gonna lose the wall water. Yeah, it's fuck. Yeah, I'll have to show you this before the car actually is gonna lose the entire water. But I'll show you what someone did in there. So it's unbelievable, guys. You're gonna laugh when I show you. you're going to absolutely laugh. The car's going to lose all the water, so I don't even think I'm going to be able to wait until the car actually reaches the temperature, because it's going to run out of water. It's only 5 degrees, so I'm going to see if I can. I can't. It's losing all the water. Look at that. It's losing everything. I'm going to have to turn it off. Look at that. Absolutely idiots. So it's already dropping down the temperature a little bit. I'm gonna have to turn the car off. Oh gosh, let me show you what they did. So I had to stop because look, all the water just gone from inside the tank. But look what they did. They did a cut with a Vauxhall blade all the way down. Look, you see what they did? So obviously when the water reached the boiling temperature of 100 degrees, it starts to boil and you can't pressurize the system, and obviously the water comes out. Really? Oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. This is absolutely unbelievable, and that's why the car never reached 105 degrees. Oh crap. So I believe my sensor is this one. So what I'm going to do is the following. Let me turn the key on. Let me turn the key on. And just do one thing here. Is this my sensor? I'm not even sure if this is my sensor or if it is. I think the sensor is the other one. Hold on. This looks something else. My sensor might be that one there at the back. You can't really see it, but I'm gonna have to see which one is the sensor really, because I'm not 100% sure which one is my temperature sensor. But I'll tell you how we'll check if the fans would kick in 105 degrees or not. Okay, and my sensor is not even this one here. Don't know which one. This one here might be the radiator temperature sensor, maybe because it's right after the radiator, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, my temperature sensor is this one, because look at there, minus 40 when I plug it in, 90 degrees, take it out, in, out. So this is my temperature sensor, is this one here at the back. And the funny thing is, the fans, they should kick in when you take these out, which is a little bit strange as well. Why is not doing it? But let's try to figure out what's going on. Okay guys, so let me show you something here. Let's gonna do a test. So I've jumped the 5 volts reference to the signal feedback to the ECU on this plug, and we get a reading of 140 degrees. Okay, right there. Now it's still triggering a fault because the ECU is seeing the exact same voltage coming back as the one that is feeding out, so it's going to trigger a fault for the sensor. But I put some water on the car. Let's start the engine. And let me show you something. Okay, everybody happy? Everybody happy with the result? So the only problem right now with this car is because of the absolutely clueless person that made that cut on that bottle. So basically what is happening is for my opinion is that when the car reaches the temperature that should start to pressurize the system, the water starts to come out from over there, and obviously the water gets out from the circuit, and the sensor never reached the 105 degrees. So first of all, he said to me, oh, the guy said the fans, they don't kick in at 90 degrees. They will never will, because that's not what the ECU wants to see. The ECU wants to see 105. So unless he reaches 105, the fans will not kick in. But the engine will never reach that temperature, or at least the temperature sensor will never reach that, because the water is coming out of the system. So, lesson from here: don't do stupid things, guys. So I'm literally gonna send this car back. Just gonna tell them to replace the bottle, because he's gonna need a new one. So I don't want this car here. We have diagnosed the problem. There's nothing wrong with the car at all, other than that. At least electrically, there's nothing wrong with the car. So we did the test. The fans kick in. So everything is good. The only thing that needs to happen is for the car to see 105 degrees. We could do one more test, which I might be inclined to do, just to be 100% sure. Let me think. We'll do that, just so I show you something else, and just we make sure that's actually everything is working fine, rather than showing you this way. I'm purely 100% confident that it is good, but let's go and do one last test. Okay, and my last test, and I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm going to do, is going to be heat that sensor and see if that triggers my fans. I hope I don't need to have the engine running for that, because if I do, it's not very feasible, as I don't have any spare sensors. And obviously if I start the engine, I'm going to lose all the water there, if there's any in there. But hopefully I don't need to have the engine running. So I'm going to place the camera in a place where you can see at least the temperature, and we're going to try this. So the ignition is on already, so we are all set to go. Okay, and I'm sure you can read the temperature. It's reading 40 degrees right now. Let's make that to go up. There we go. I don't want to do it too quick. I don't want to damage the sensor. The 63, 65. Just be patient. We'll get there. You're in 10. Come on, fun. Kick in. Will that be because my radiator temperature is not that high? So it's only seeing one temperature that's high and not the other one. Okay, I have some alarms in there inside the car. I believe it's for the temperature. Let's gonna have a quick look and on. Definitely there's some alarms inside the car. Just don't know why. Is that because the engine is not running? It might be. It looks like. Okay, so this didn't work. God knows why not. Okay, the only explanation I have for this is because he reads 102 degrees or over 105 here, but only 27 in there. And obviously it doesn't really know what's going on, I guess. That's my only explanation. What's the sensor for that? Oh dear. Engine coolant thermostat heater, so that's the heater in there. Yeah, so the heater is the one at the back, as you've seen that changing in there. So I don't even know where the radiator temperature sensor is, so I could... Oh, it's down there. There it is. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, guys, so I've jumped the sensor. Sorry, guys. I've jumped the sensor for the radiator coolant to see, and then I've warmed up that one, but still the same. I'm pretty sure this is all because the engine is not running, and obviously because the engine is not running, it's not going to really kick the fans, because you know you wouldn't cool the engine as such. So I believe that's the reason why. But still, it starts to rain now. Let me take max CCs from here. But still, I'm quite happy with the other tests we did. If I could start the engine, I definitely would. But if I start the engine, well, you've seen earlier when I jumped the sensor, the fans kicking straight away. And if I had a spare sensor that I could plug in that hole and start the engine, I would do it. But I don't want to run the engine without water. So, but yeah. Okay, and this is like 4 days later or something like that. And I don't know exactly where I'm going to introduce this footage now, because I was about to just send the car back, and they would change the tank, and they would do the rest of the repair. But I thought, you know, what if? So what I've decided to do is I got a tank, and we are going to replace the tank now. Prime the system, start the engine, monitor the temperatures, and see what happens. It's a quite hot day today, so it shouldn't take long to warm up the car and to make the fans to kick in. And yeah, so that's what we are going to do. So once again, as I said, I don't know exactly where I'm going to put this footage. So if I was saying something that now it doesn't really make sense because I'm actually replacing the tank, I do apologize. I just decided that would be better to actually, for me, to terminate this repair, or to finish the repair properly, rather than send it just diagnosed to elsewhere. After all, the people that brought me the car was the people that changed the engine, and who knows if it was not the people that did that to the reservoir that is there now. So let's gonna replace this and literally go from there. Okay, and here it is. I will show you once more what they did. Also, this one does not have the sensor in there. However, the plug is right there. So the one I bought came with a sensor, so we're gonna plug it in. Don't know if it needs it, but we'll plug it in. Okay, all done. Level is right now set pretty much at the maximum. We bleeded the system. There is only one bleeding point I can see, which is right there. That Phillips, is the thing, that Phillips little plunge in there. So that's a bleeding point. I already bleed the system, and I think we are ready to obviously put the cap in place in there, start the engine, and see what happens. Okay, just started the engine literally about 30 seconds ago. Just to note that I routed all this pipe through the proper place. Also was clean water right here at the top. As you can see, it's getting pink, which means my pump is obviously circulating the water properly. And now it's just let them to warm up. Okay, and the engine coolant temperature for some reason changed from 105 to 90. Interestingly enough, it was saying 105 when I first started the engine, and as you probably seen earlier as well. I'm gonna say that this is something to do with the outside temperature, maybe. I might be wrong. On the live data, I could not find the sensor for the bottle, so I'm not really sure where that temperature comes out from, or where is stored, but or where is monitored, I would say. But I don't know. Just leave it like that for now. But yeah, it changed from 105 to 90, so my fans, they should kick in now at 90 degrees. And just to show you, I just came out of this live data. As you can see, there's extra stuff here. I came out of this live data to see if I could find, look properly to see if I could find the temperature sensor for that bottle, for the reservoir. I don't know where it is. It might be that this car doesn't even have one. But the plug was just hanging off in there, so anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's not throwing any faults or anything like that. So, but yeah, as you can see, it's back to 105. We'll see if that drops again to 90. So far he's asking for 105 degrees before the fans kick in, so it's going to be a little bit of waiting. So let's wait, and I'll come back when it's close to the trigger point. And we are nearly there. Nearly there. An interesting thing, while the engine carry on warming up, if we can call it warming up at this stage, so my engine coolant temperature shows 99 now, but when you look actually in there, it's bang on 90. So it looks like somehow, because that's the normal sort of running temperature, it looks like the ECU kind of compensates for that, and it kind of corrects the gauge in there, because even if you would go by the radiator, it should be a little bit higher than it is. So yeah, just thought to show you that. Quite interesting. But let's wait another 5 degrees and see if my fan kicks in. Okay guys, and it might be a little bit of waiting now, but I want to make sure I record this as it happens. So 18 minutes later, I'm at 105 degrees, so we are just reached the desired temperature, and my ETC in there still shows 90. Interesting. Okay, so let's see now what happens when it goes to 106. There we go. 106. Let me see when the fan kicks in. I don't know how many degrees it needs to go above the desired temperature. I'm sure there is a sort of a leeway a little bit. So it must be a few degrees that should be able to go up before it actually kicks in. Let me rev it a little bit, see if we can get that to go up a little bit quicker. 107. Gonna wait. On. There we go. Let's go and look at it. There is fan running. So 3 degrees above the desired temperature. It's already coming down. Still it's just gone off because it reached the 105. So as you can see, there's nothing wrong with the system. Everything is working fine. I knew that beforehand, but I prefer to do it this way, so there's no ifs or buts. Obviously the radiator temperature is going to drop quite a lot, or it dropped way more than the engine for obvious reasons. So yeah, I think that's it really. There's nothing wrong, everything is working, and what else to say, guys? So in the end, there was nothing wrong electrically with the car. That bottle, coming from someone that works on car every day, is a little bit disappointed to see that, but is what it is, guys. So that's gonna wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope there's some information here, guys, that you gonna find it useful. If you think your car should trigger the fans at 90 degrees, not every car does that, bear that in mind. If you do, hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please put them below, and like always, thanks so much for watching.